What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus Washington, and you're on the mark where we talk everything, and I mean everything Falcons football. Listen, man, I ain't even want to address this because honestly, for a guy to not be starting on our team, this is kind of getting out. This kind of getting out of hand. So I have my timer set to 30 minutes. That's all I'm spending on this particular subject, where Kirk Cousins has been found in Cleveland at two different restaurants. I think one was a Chipotle. I forgot what the other one was. This is desperation. If you really believe Kirk Cousins is walking into two separate restaurants in a matter of 3 or 4 hours to get something to eat, yeah, whatever. This is what his team is trying to do. Giants' job is already taken. Most of the jobs are already taken. Pittsburgh, they still toying around with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how that's going to roll. But the Giants already, got Jameis Winston, and then they signed Russell Wilson. So he can't go there. So what his team is doing says, hey, listen, let's go to Cleveland and just do some photo ops. Get the rumor mill buzzing. And I read an article for Newsweek where it was talking about, and I'm paraphrasing, but the Browns need to pull the trigger on the Kirk Cousins trade. And I'm like, y'all do realize this man still signed for 3 more years. He can't go anywhere. He can't even talk to the Browns without the Falcons giving him permission to do so. And I haven't heard anything about that. So we do know Kirk Cousins will break the rules because he did with us. So could he be talking to somebody in the Browns organization? Probably. But if so, this is a bad start to the Browns, trying to date this guy. But he ain't going no. And if I'm Terry Fontenot and I see this, the price just went up. It's a 3rd rounder or higher this year. If you want him, it's a 3rd or higher this year. We ain't taking no back doors. We ain't taking next year. Nope. We want it this year. If you want him that bad, and you're going to have to take some of that purse office. This actually wasn't a good move for Kirk Cousins. You want to be a starter. I get that. You should have did things the right way last year. Think about if he would have did things the right way last year. He gets injured. He admits, hey man, my shoulder's busted. I don't think I can play. They bring in Michael Penix. Michael Penix probably wins 1 or 2 of those games. We go to the playoffs. Then Kirk goes back to him and says, hey man, I'm healthy and I want to start on another team. Atlanta might have been willing to offload him for a 5th or a 6th. And you're going to eat some of that purse. We wouldn't have picked up the $10 million last month. But he has made this situation a lot worse than it should be. Now you got think about how you are signed to another team, my guy. On top of this team overpaying for you because that was the price to get a quarterback last offseason. Did right by you financially, and then picked up insurance in the draft because they had to. Because guess what? Your shoulder did get hurt. You did get injured. But you were still salty about that. Then you get on TV during the playoffs, make an ass out of yourself, Then you go on another show where you admit to the world that you hurt your shoulder in the Saints game, even though you told Atlanta media you were perfectly fine. Now you out here at Chipotle taking photo ops. This is a photo, fam. You look at the pictures; these are photo ops. No different than when Bill Belichick was spotted in Chick-fil-A in Atlanta when he did his meeting. The only difference was Bill Belichick was actually interviewing for the job. You can't interview for the job in Cleveland because you're signed to a 4-year deal here. So all his team is trying to say is, hey, Cleveland's got a spot open. This is a smoke signal because they can't do anything. This is the only thing that they can do. This is the only thing that they can do. Hey, Cleveland's got a spot open. Let's fly out to Cleveland. Let's go to a couple of everyday restaurants. Let's take some pictures. And then let's get the media buzzing about, hey, Kirk was in Cleveland. Okay, and he can't talk to the organization. So what we really talking about? You trying to signal to Falcons brass that you want to go to Cleveland? You didn't have to fly out there to do photo ops to do that. This is desperation. Kirk and his team know that he's not fucking going anywhere until Atlanta gets what they deem is adequate for a Kirk Cousins trade. They're not moving. This is what this is all about. We could have offloaded Cousins whenever we wanted to. The fact that we picked up that $10 million told me he ain't going no fucking where. Unless you come off of what we want for him, which when the reports came out about a week or two ago, third rounder. At best, a third. If you want him, pitch a third our way. But now you got to take some of this purse. You got to take some of this purse now. But this is desperation from Kirk Cousins' team. They got golden handcuffs on. They got the purse, but they can't do nothing. They can't talk to Cleveland. They can't walk into that stadium. They can't talk to the organization. They can't do shit without our say-so. And now a team can't trade for him unless we get what we. I mean, Terry Fontenot been clear about that anyway. When the reports came out where Cousins wanted, he walked into the office and he said he wanted to be a starter. They said we're going to do what's best for the organization. This ain't a Matt Ryan situation. We tried to trade for Deshaun Watson. That didn't work. Matt came in there. Hey man, you know what? Move me. After 14 years of being the decorated quarterback, and y'all trying to go after somebody else, hey man, just trade me. Just trade me. You saw how they did right by Matt Ryan. They didn't put Matt Ryan on the trash team. And if I'm not, what did we get from Matt Ryan? I think we got 2 for Matt Ryan when we traded him. Hold on, let me. Yeah, dude, we traded Matt to the Colts for a 3rd-round pick. It ain't getting no lower for Kirk Cousins because we still got money on the books to pay him. Mind you, when we traded Matt, we took one of the highest cap hits in history. But look how Matt handled that behind the scenes. He wasn't spotted in Indiana with a Colts jersey on. He wasn't at a Chipotle or a Jim and Nick's. He wasn't nowhere. He went into the office, sat down, and said, "Hey, I get what y'all trying to do. Move me." And they said, "Okay, we'll move you to the Colts. 3rd round pick. Go do your thing over there." That's the right way to do it. This right here, what Kirk Cousins is doing, is the absolute. Bruh, you have 3 more years on your contract. Sit your fucking ass down somewhere. If we look, you a hostage right now. This is a hostage situation. And if you don't have a Kevin Spacey to come and negotiate a deal, sit your ass down. You ain't going nowhere. And I know a lot of people want Kirk Cousins off the team. It's bigger than this. You have to set a fucking example. You don't get to go to a team, play 9 games, take $180 million, and then have the fucking audacity to say you want to start somewhere else. And we footing the bill. No, sir. Team's just gonna have to get used to it. Hey, if you don't even want to come to the games, stay home. That makes you look worse to other teams. If you gonna be here, you better have a fucking smile on your face. That's what comes with the bag. You got paid. But this is really showing me a lot about Kirk Cousins' character. We didn't see this in Washington. We saw a little bit of it in Minnesota. And Minnesota told him to his face, "Hey, listen, we going after a quarterback. And we don't want to keep paying you guaranteed money." But maybe Kirk was always like this. It's just presented itself wholesale here. But fam, let me pull this up real quick. Ain't nobody gonna sit here and try and tell me. Hold on. That this was by accident. Nobody's gonna sit here and tell me that Kirk being here was just why are you in Cleveland anyway? Like, that's a photo. I bet you he didn't even eat that fucking food. He probably made up some order. They jumped in the car. He gave that to his secretary or something like that because he was spotted at another restaurant hours after the fact. Now, I don't know about y'all. Chipotle sits heavy on my stomach. If your boy eat Chipotle, man, I'm probably good for about 9 hours. This how I know this a photo op. Boy, desperate. He's desperate. Because he knows he can't do shit. If I'm Terry Fontenot, man, I'm laying on the couch. Yeah, he gonna be here for this year. Cleveland tries to put in the call. "Hey Terry, what's going on? This is Al. How you doing, man?" I'm doing good. How you doing? "Hey man, you see you got Kirk, man. He's not happy there. He seems to be in Cleveland. We haven't talked to him now. We ain't said shit. We ain't said a word. What's it gonna take to get us to broker a deal? Man, y'all gonna give me a 3rd rounder this year. Y'all gonna take on some of his money, and y'all gonna give me some next year." Oh, the price just went up. King Richie says, "If I eat Chipotle, I'm good for 24 hours. Man, everybody know this is a photo op. Chipotle does not sit light on your stomach. Chipotle is going to do 2 things. It's going to fill you up, and you're going to pay for it on the toilet. 2 things is guaranteed. You're going to be full, and when it's time to take that dump, you're going to feel that. But the price just, man, if I'm Terry and I saw this, the price just went up. Price just went up. A third this year, something next year, and you're gonna take on some of this purse. If you want him that bad, and this put Cleveland in a bad situation. Because let's say Cleveland actually wanted him, they're gonna overpay for him now. Like we did. And do you really want to overpay for a guy who cost his present team a draft pick, who lied about an injury so he can keep his job, only to cost us a playoff spot? He gets benched anyway. Then he's mad about that, and he wants to be a starter, so he's in another town taking photo ops when he's got 3 years left on his deal. Cleveland would have to, and Cleveland's stupid. This is the same organization that gave up $230 million to a quarterback who can't stay off the massage table. And now he's injured. When he was playing, he forgot how to play football. Now he's injured, and then he re-injured the injury. So they could be that stupid. But if I'm Terry, the price went up. See, we started with a third. But now we know y'all desperate because y'all calling us. Give us a third, goddamn some of this purse, and give us something for next year. Y'all can have them. Y'all can have them today. But I'll tell you this. Terry trade Kirk Cousins for anything less than a third rounder. He got to be up out of here next year. I don't care if he's a cancer to the team. I don't. You got to send a fucking message as a GM. This right here is, boy, this is disrespectful, what he's doing. And he knows it is. Because the history will tell you, hey, teams that aren't happy, or players that aren't happy with teams, they just act out. Look, it happened with Antonio Brown. He acted out and he ended up with a Super Bowl ring. Where he at now? And the only reason he even ended up in Tampa Bay is because the greatest of all time had to co-sign on him and then keep him at the house. That was the only reason Antonio Brown got another shot. Who would go over there in Cleveland? You gonna overpay. And if not, well, he on the bench where he belongs. And Kirk knows this. He knows that if he spends a season on the bench, it's over for him. All these younger quarterbacks that are coming in, mobile quarterbacks. And if Kirk was a free agent, he probably would have been on somebody's roster. But you got 3 more years, bro. I ain't even sweating this. If I'm Terry, I'm not sweating none of this. Ark says, that's the only thing I hate about this situation. He will be cancerous in the locker room, but I get what the GM's doing. We want the best deal. I don't think Kirk's going to be cancerous. Again, he's a quarterback. So that he's in a different position where he can't really afford to be cancerous. If you're a wide receiver, you already got the diva tag on you if you're a wide receiver. You being cancerous, whatever. We saw it, AB, what was the running back for Pittsburgh? Sheesh. When he sat out. But he was at the crib though. I done forgot this motherfucking name, man. Help me out, Jack. They were on the team at the same time. Stud running back. Again, Le'Veon Bell. Appreciate that, 12. I don't think Kirk can afford to be cancerous because he's a quarterback. What he's doing now is toxic, but it's out of desperation because he can't move. So when I'm seeing reports acting like Cleveland's got the upper hand, they don't. They can't even talk to him. How you got the upper hand when you can't even talk to him? Atlanta has the upper hand. Because once Cleveland, and this is an if, they might have already, but if they reached out to Atlanta, Atlanta has the leverage. We got what you want. So here's what we want. Let's start off with your third this year. Okay. Well, I can do that. You're going to take some of this person. Well, man, we still stuck on, Sean. We just paid Miles a boatload. You're taking some of this person. Either that or I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up. All right, we'll figure something out. And I want something next year. Hold on, goddammit. Hold on, goddammit. That's me on the phone with him. I'm about to fleece him. Because I've already settled with the fact that Kirk is going to be on the bench next year. I've already settled with that. I put $10 million up to let y'all know I settled for him being on the bench. So worst case scenario, he's going to end up in the position I expected him to be in anyway. So what we talking about? You gonna give us something next year or not? It's your decision to make. You don't have a quarterback walking in there next year. Ark says you don't think the locker room may divide a little. No, because some of these players already wanted Penix. They already wanted. And if we're winning, that locker room ain't gonna divide. Who gonna stay on Kirk? After all this shit, who gonna stay on Kirk's side? Just be real. Just for a second. Most players will stand by your side if it's about the money. Right? If you're holding out because of the money, players will step up. When guys are holding out, hey man, I need to get paid. Players will be like, man, we understand that. He's already gotten paid. So what he wants is a starting job. I don't think players, especially what they had to endure last year with him. This team start winning, Kirk can go sit in the corner. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about, man, you know what, man? I think it's time that somebody gonna walk into Terry's office. Hey man, I'm just gonna be real, man. We on a 7-game winning streak, man. Everything good here, man. But something has been, eating me on the inside, man. I just think that, y'all need to find a way to move Kirk. Man, I'm laughing in this player's face, and I'm gonna say, hey, listen, I like you as a player. I like you as a man. Don't ever come in my fucking office with that shit again. If we winning, don't nobody care about Kirk. And honestly, if we're losing, we're going to give Penix some leeway anyway, because this is his first full year as a starter. And we already saw what he can do in 3 games. So to me, the only way Kirk is starting next year is Cleveland's about to get fleeced or Michael Penix gets hurt. Anything outside of that, and y'all know I've been campaigning for Terry. If Terry takes anything under a third, he needs to be gone next year. We just, we got rid of him, man. We're looking forward, and he wanted to start, so we found another trade partner, and man, and we just, we pulled the trigger. We're starting off new. Fuck that. I'm not trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. You make the best deal. A 4th, a 5th is not the best deal for Kirk Cousins, especially when it's been rumored we want a 3rd. And I'm hearing everybody, because I've been looking at some of the Cleveland Brown stuff. Man, ain't nobody really moving heaven and earth over there. Kirk? That's going to be a complicated trade anyway. Y'all still got Deshaun Watson on the tit for what, another 2 years? So you gonna overpay for two quarterbacks? I can overpay for one. I ain't overpaying for two. I'm not doing that. Then what happens? Let's put on the Doctor Strange. Let's put on the cape. Let's jump into the multiverse. What happens in a universe if Kirk Cousins goes out there and gets hurt? Now who y'all got? And we can't say that's not a possibility. Motherfucker got hurt playing with us. 12 says, I don't think he will because he's a quarterback, and at the end of the day, he's still campaigning for a new team. So the way he acts on the sidelines affects that. I think when week one kicks in, if Kirk Cousins is on the sidelines, there's still opportunities to trade him next season, but that would require, we still got the upper hand no matter what. Because if another team's quarterback gets hurt and they need a quarterback real bad, they overpaying. At this point, you're overpaying for our backup. You're overpaying for our back. That's just the bottom line. If he is cancerous, stay home. Just stay home. That's what you do for a cancer. We already paid you, dog. We already paid you. But again, that looks bad on Kirk Cousins if Kirk Cousins is staying home. Because what that shows other teams is he's not a team player. And for a quarterback, that's wild. Usually quarterbacks have to be like the moral compass, whether you a starter or a backup. And that's just the truth of it. So I don't think people gonna really come to Kirk's defense, because look at it this way. Look at what he's doing now. How you think his teammates are responding to that now? It's not about money. Kirk's team is desperate right now. So if another team becomes available some type of way, he'll be at a Chipotle in that state. Then we'll start being like, God damn, is Kirk Cousins taking a road? Is he road tripping or something? But all these teams, hold on, let me pull this up. There ain't really nowhere he can go as a starter. Let's take a let's break it down. Hold on. Let me pull up the screen real quick so we can look at this. We can look at this list together. Yeah, I didn't already went over 30 minutes, man. I just need to stop saying it ain't gonna take long. I just need to stop saying it. So we're gonna go to all the official teams, right? Arizona's got their quarterback. Baltimore's got their quarterback. We got our quarterback. The Buffalo Bills definitely got their quarterback. Carolina, they're gonna stick with Bryce, so he doesn't have room there. Cincinnati, they got their quarterback. Chicago got their quarterback. Cleveland, still the asterisk. Dallas got their quarterback. Denver got their quarterback. Detroit got their quarterback. Houston got their quarterback. Green Bay got their quarterback. Colts. The Colts got their quarterback, but I've heard some stuff. I might get into it in a second. Rams got their quarterback. Jacksonville got their quarterback, even though I'll talk about that later too. Minnesota got their quarterback. Kansas City got their quarterback. New Orleans still got Carr. The Raiders, who did the Raiders pick up? Was that Justin? Did Justin Fields go to the Raiders? They got their quarterback. New York, they got two quarterbacks there. Chargers got their quarterback. Philadelphia definitely got their quarterback. Miami got their quarterback. 49ers, I don't know what they're going to do with that situation with Brock Purdy. But in effect, they got their quarterback. The Patriots, I just can't see her going there. And they liken it to a 3-year deal. Uh, okay, everybody's saying Gino. Okay, they got Gino. Okay, okay, so they got their quarterback. The Jets is where Justin Fields went. So they got their quarterback. Seattle, that's Sam Darnold, if I'm not mistaken. They got their quarterback. Tampa Bay got their quarterback. Pittsburgh is still up in the air right now, but they're not going Cousins. Washington got their quarterback. Tennessee, who the fuck went to Tennessee? Who went to Tennessee? Hold on. Now I gotta know. I gotta know. Hold on, channel. Okay, strange. Okay, so Tennessee, they got Will Levis currently, but they're going to pick a quarterback in the draft. So they got Will Levis, Tim Boyle, and Brandon Allen. God damn, that's a terrible quarterback. I don't see them taking a stab at Kirk either. So y'all get what I'm saying? Ain't a lot of options on the table. The only option, the only one, is this team sitting right here. That's the only option. Cleveland. That's it. That's why he's out there not eating Chipotle. His team is trying to signal the Browns and the Falcons to do a deal. But if I'm Terry Fontenot and I see this, the price just went up. Because we've already conceded to you being on the bench. You healthy now? You can start. That's great. That's fantastic. If we need you in a situation, we know we got a good backup quarterback. 12 says, I think Pittsburgh's looking to trade up since they got rid of both QBs. Yeah, they had a situation, man. They had a great deal on Fields and Russell last year. So it was like they had a win-win situation going, but they knew they weren't. Russ is on the tail end of his career. Justin Fields still has a lot of work to do, even though they were winning with Justin Fields. But, I mean, a lot of that had to do with how great their defense was. King says, I think Atlanta has set the precedent by getting Kirk and Penix, so I see teams doing more of this. Yeah, like, when you look at how all this went down, how all of it went down, you're kind of happy that Terry made that move to get Penix, because it exposed a lot of things. Ark says, if Aaron Rodgers, Steelers, and Browns may fight over Kirk, and then the draft stock goes up, man, fam, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see Pittsburgh going after Kirk Cousins at all. I think they would rather start with just a young quarterback before because again, you look at Pittsburgh as an organization, and you see what Kirk is doing now. Like that, I don't think that's the type of quarterback they want on the team. And I'm saying this with Ben Roethlisberger having those sexual assault charges. They can tolerate a lot when you want a chip or two. But Kirk has one playoff win. So I don't see Pittsburgh making a play. I just don't. The only team really that might be stupid enough to overpay for a quarterback is Cleveland. And I haven't heard anything on Cleveland's side about brokering any kind of deal. Not one. Not a single one. So who knows? But if I'm Terry Fontenot, you ain't going nowhere. King Richie says Arthur Smith don't like Kirk. He'll he'll go get Ritter before Kirk. Yeah, it's just better to start off because, and mind you, you are going to have to take on some of Kirk's salary if he's coming that way. And at 36, I don't know. I'd rather start off young, man. Pitts went after Kenny Pickett. Yeah. So anyhow, fam, I don't. In closing, he's not. I don't think he's going anywhere. Things might change. Hold on, my TV just came on. Hold on for a second. All right, I'm back. Things could change. Things could heat up. Cleveland can get stupid, but we need to take advantage of Cleveland's stupidity. So if Terry hears this, might not, might be a chance. If they call you, fleece them. Because at that point, you got hella leverage. If they calling you about Kirk Cousins, fleece them. And then put them on the clock. Fleece them and say, hey, listen, it's good for an hour. Fleece they ask. If I hear anything about Kirk Cousins being traded for a fifth I'm sorry. That's showing me that your GM skills ain't really where we need to be, where we need them to be right now. And I think you've made a lot of great moves as a GM. But just getting him out of here because he wants out after you done paid him all this money, bro, that's not good business. That is not good business. Stick to what you're doing now, and you're in a win-win situation. If he's on the team at the start of the NFL season, you got to back up who has a proven track record of winning in the regular season. You just got to take it like that. Hopefully, he never gets to see the field because Mike Penix is on fire. And if a team comes to you, hey man, we said we won the third rounder. Man, that was 7 months ago. Make that a third rounder in the next year. I'm not taking no shit. If I'm Terry, I ain't taking no shit. You come at me sideways asking about my backup quarterback. That's just too high. Okay. You want him or not? That's the price. Shit, Jameis Winston's on a roster, for crying out loud. And one of the reasons Jameis Winston is on a roster, because he's a good teammate. That's for starters. But Kirk still holds value to this team. Ark says, he says, why aren't you our GM, Mark? And man, listen, I ain't got the patience or the credentials to be honest. But if I were the GM, I'm on cruise control right now with Kirk Cousins. We in it for the long haul, baby. We're married right now on paper. Till I say so. As a GM, that's the approach you got to take. We on paper till I say so, or until your contract ends, which we're not keeping you after this year. We ain't keeping you after this year. We can offload you and be good. But if I want to keep you, though, where you gonna go? Where you gonna go, Kirk? If I want to keep you, just to have you around, where you gonna go? I'm the type of petty. That motherfucker staying here the entire 4 years. I'm that type of petty. You pull this shit, your career is over. To me, your career is over with. Because ain't nobody gonna be interested in a 38-year-old backup. But this is a business. If the right deal comes across, they're gonna take that. But with me, your career over with, dog. especially if the organization didn't know anything about that shoulder injury, which the jury's still out. But if didn't nobody know about that shoulder, oh, bruh, I'm telling you, you come in my office all you want to. You got 3 years left on your deal. You here. What? Yeah, you're here. Wait a minute now. Y'all can't hold me. Y'all can't hold me here for the whole 4. Why not? I'm reading this contract, which you got paid handsomely for. Yeah, it says 4 years. So you're 36 now, 37, 38. Damn, you'll be 39. Wow. That's like dog years for a quarterback. You'll be 39. Damn, where you gonna go after that? I'm that type of petty, bro. If it was me, you would never start for another fucking team ever. I'ma make it difficult for you. And I know the fan base, and man, why we keeping this motherfucker? They ain't gonna care if we win it. If Michael Penix ends up being the goods, ain't nobody gonna care that Kirk Cousins been sitting over there for 3 years. Dude, look how long we kept Matt Schaub. Didn't nobody care about that. Now I did because Matt Schaub was stealing money, but that's neither here nor there. Nobody was throwing fits that we still had Matt Schaub. We just dealt with it at the end of the day. And it would be the same way with Kirk Cousins. His name would just get quieter and quieter in the NFL. And by the time his contract was over with us, I'm going to tell you one thing. That'll let other players know we don't fuck around over here. We sign you to a monster. We better not spot you at a Chick-fil-A in Arizona. You better have some goddamn food in your hand if you're taking a picture. And if that surface, hey, listen, man, Mark, listen, man, I was out there seeing family. Off season, man. We kicking it, we fishing. I was fishing with my uncles, my grandpa, man. We was just having a good time. I wanted something to eat, man, so I stopped in at a Chick-fil-A. Now, my pettiness, especially after this, because this would traumatize me. You could have went through the drive-thru, though, right? Hucklebuck says, can you speak on the fact on the Falcons having leeway to restructure his contract? I read an article this morning. What are your thoughts? Falcons still have some leverage, obviously. Yeah, we have leverage. I mean, the only leverage that Kirk really has at this moment is his no trade. But it doesn't matter if we're keeping you. If we're keeping you, who cares about, you waiving or not waiving your no trade? Who cares? You're on the bench. But I'm gonna do what's best for the team. So that means if we have to have a situation where we talk about restructuring, but then that's where it kind of gets tricky because he's a backup at this point. So he's probably gonna buck that. He's probably gonna buck it. So I wouldn't even come to him about restructuring because I'm in a situation. I'm trying to make life difficult for you now. And mind you, disclaimer, I campaigned for Kirk Cousins to come here. So I'm making your life difficult because of the moves that you've already cost me. You've already cost me a playoff spot if we truly didn't know your shoulder was hurt. Then you go on fucking national TV and start campaigning for other teams by saying, I still know how to play. My shoulder was hurt in the New Orleans game. Now you're talking about you're not going to waive your no trade until after the draft. Now we spotting you in Cleveland at 2 different restaurants. My guy, listen, you're finished. I can respect what Matt Ryan did. Didn't go out bitching, didn't tweet about it, didn't do nothing. Went to the organization, said, hey, listen, man, move. I wasn't even mad at that. I'm like, hey, to me, Matt Ryan was already falling off the bone anyway. But that our organization did right by Matt Ryan. They put him on a team which at the time people were talking about was a quarterback away. They had a good squad over there. So it's not like we sent him, to a place where he didn't have a shot to win. We sent him to a competitive team. And then Matt showed y'all he had fell off the bone. But look at how Matt conducted himself. And look at how Kirk Cousins is currently conducting himself. Dude, we respected Matt Ryan so much, we took the cap hit. That either comes with respect or, man, we just don't fucking want you here. Like they did Russell Wilson in Denver. That was you're not my quarterback. So we'll take the hit. That was that type of situation. With Matt Ryan, it was, hey, we went after this guy. We get it. We get it. Kirk Cousins still got 3 years left on his deal. This man can go to Chipotle, IHOP in Ohio, Waffle House, Walmart. This man can be spotted everywhere on the coast. He's still on the bench at the start of the year unless you come talking big game to me. Y'all can find him at JJ's, parties. I don't care where he goes. There's only one team that really, really needs a quarterback. And they stupid. You got one spot. And if they don't come to me with the right package, you're gonna be mad at the motherfucker. You'll be able to buy whatever you want to. That's all you'll be doing next year. Refurnishing the house, remodeling the kitchen. You got a lot of time on your hands next season. Got a lot of money to play with. But you ain't gonna play with me. And see, man, I had to go to therapy for my pettiness. I really did. We had to uncover and unpack a lot of stuff as to why was I so petty? This is one of the reasons right here. If I do right by you and I give you what you want and you fuck me like this, there is no tomorrow in which I don't want to make your life a living hell. Now I just walk away from the situation. But if I'm in Terry's shoes, man, bro, you can come off and talk all you want to. You can't talk football to me no more because you're a backup. What you want to talk about? How's your handicap in golf? How the kids? Are your wife mad? Your wife? Why your wife mad? Oh man, yeah, I've been there before. Trust me, man, it's hard being married. It's hard. It's yeah, I get it. Yeah, man, back in the day, we'd be talking about everything but you getting moved and you playing unless Penix gets hurt. So while Kirk is out here doing all this, Kirk is actively disrespecting the organization and he knows it. So why not match energy? Man, I don't care what nobody. They could come in my office. Man, I'd be on there playing Madden or something. Did you fucking see what Kirk Cousins did? What'd he do? This motherfucker spotted in Cleveland. Really? Where? Man, they say he had a city barbecue and a Chipotle. Man, the way I would be, I'd be like, damn, what? Man, I am hungry right now. Hey, let's go ahead and DoorDash some Chipotle. I'm hungry than a motherfucker right now. That's my response. We ain't gonna do nothing about it. We already did. You gotta learn when you're in a power position, you use that power. That's why you're in a power position. When you have leverage, you don't let somebody off the hook. You simply don't. And to the fan base, let me say this. He's not cancerous to us. We shouldn't be caring about how cancerous Kirk Cousins can get because he ain't playing. Cancerous becomes a problem when you actually playing on the team. When you on the bench, how cancerous could you be? You ain't even playing. Sooner or later, them players gonna tell you to shut the fuck up. Dre says, Chipotle got, man, look, let me tell you this, man. So on the side, I do DoorDash food. Man, I walked into that Chipotle Friday night. Man, it was like they were selling weed out that motherfucker, man. That line was ridiculous. And then they ran out of chicken. I'm like, how you run out of chicken, man? They hitting that like that chicken sandwich at Popeyes a couple years ago. King Richie says report said he was house hunting in Cleveland. He's got all that money. I don't care where he buy a house. Don't mean he playing there. And I think he counting if I don't even believe that report. I'm gonna be honest, because you are counting your eggs before they even hatch. I haven't heard anything about Atlanta even talking to Cleveland. Now, there could be some conversations they're having. They just haven't exposed that yet. So I'm not saying that a deal can't be made. What I'm saying is, if that deal's made and it's anything under a third round, Terry got to be up out of here next year. Because not only did you pay this man crazy money, but then he was able to manipulate his way out. And you facilitated that for a fourth or a fifth? No. And you had the leverage. Dre says, yeah, I want to try it, but I hate when stuff is this hype. Man, I had the fortune to actually try that Popeyes chicken sandwich like 3 times before it got hyped to oblivion. But they were stressing the Popeyes workers out, man. Imagine having something like that gets hyped and you got to be at work 5 days a week. I mean, that stuff, and you come in, there's a crowd. There's a crowd your whole entire, man, they had them Popeyes workers contemplating life, man. Because every order is a chicken sandwich. Every order is. And motherfuckers get up there, yeah, let me get 15 chicken sandwiches. 15. Then they pull up to the driveway. They pull up to the drive-thru and there's 2 people in the car. 15. And Chipotle different because Chipotle ain't got no drive-thru. Motherfucker, you got to walk in there. I walked in and walked straight out. I'm like, yeah, I'm good on this. I don't like waiting. C Double, what's going on? He says, you all know quarterback season 2, Kirk Cousins and Raheem is going to be getting exposed big time, or we see how bad we are. I'm so petty. If I was the GM and Raheem Morris got fired and I was still the GM, Kirk Cousins would still be here. He ain't going to see the light of day on another team. Bird's Eye View says, I'm about sick of Kirk. I think everybody is, man. Everybody wants this. I think a lot of people just want Kirk gone, so this is no longer a subject. And I'm not mad at that. If we get the right deal, bye. That's how I am. If we get the right deal, you can have them. But until we get the right deal, he ain't going nowhere. Doing stuff with CJ says Chipotle nasty stuff. Let me say this. If you don't get anything like sour cream or guac, and you just get, boy, you're a different type of animal if you eating that shit straight up with no nothing to put on it. You are psychotic. Um, let me get let me get some rice, let me get some beans, let me get some of that steak. Yeah, I'm good. That's it. Let me get some cilantro too. You must have something at the house you're gonna put over that. You got some strong jaws. Got a throat strong enough to gargle peanut butter. Because outside of that, I'm gonna need something on that. But man, we what this ain't even football related. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get off because I'm already over 30 minutes. Me and my friend were having this conversation. I don't know how we ended up here, but we were talking about the worst fries in the business. Who has the worst French fries in the business, right? To me, personally, the worst fries, Burger King should just stop selling fries. Because it just seems like they just dump them bitches in oil and just put them in the container. No salt, no nothing. Everybody knows about McDonald's fries. Now, I haven't eaten in McDonald's for about 15 years, but it's probably still the same. McDonald's fries do not survive the drive to the house. You have to start eating those motherfuckers immediately, because once they get cold, they ain't no good to you. Captain D's fries terrible. The best fries in the game, and to me, it's just a no-brainer. They've always been the best in the game. It's Checkers. And I'll give a shout out to Taco Bell. Those nacho fries, they came and shook up the game. But Checkers fries, I don't know what it is about them. They good all the way to the house. When you get to the house, you can still nibble on them. Some of these fries, man, you've been to broke a fucking tooth by the time you get to the house. But Burger King just needs to stop. They need to stop making fries altogether. And you know what? We didn't even think about Arby's. Those curly fries, we didn't even think about those. But now I got to call them back and say, hey, man, we forgot all about Arby's, bro. We forgot all about Arby's. And KFC fries. Man, I remember coming up, there's a Checkers on Memorial Drive. I've been around since before they built that, and that Checkers has survived everything. They didn't close both plazas. A Kroger shut down over there. They've survived everything. But then I was talking to my mom, because after I had that conversation with him, I jumped on the phone with my mom. I said, Mom, I've never seen a Checkers close. And my mom had to remind me. She was like, yeah, there have been a couple that closed. She mentioned the one on Terra Boulevard that closed. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. But a Checkers will survive a long time. But yeah, Burger King, Captain D's. But I guess nobody goes to like Captain D's and Long John's or fries. They go for the fish or the shrimp or whatever the case may be. But and then the thing about Popeyes, even when that chicken sandwich was hitting, everybody knows the rule about the biscuits. You better get a drink with them biscuits, boy, because if you eat that shit straight up, you're a psychotic. You're a straight psycho. You need something to wash that shit down with. That shit tough. But right now we have a situation where we got a backup quarterback who's pretty much throwing a fit, and he wants out, and he ain't getting out. So I would just tell the fan base, man, not to even worry about it. The good side, the plus side, is we have a franchise quarterback, and he's young, and we got him on a rookie deal. Build around that. We saw the connection that he made Drake London look like a top 3 wide receiver in those 3 games he played. Drake out there looking like the number 1 stunner. Now I just need Pitts to get involved. And we all right. King Richie says, Mark, if you remember, we won so much with Ryan, you forgot shot. Yeah. That man, one thing I can give Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan was an Iron Man as a quarterback. I think he only, and I'm probably off on the numbers, but I think he only missed like 3 or 5 games in his entire fucking career as a Falcon, which is crazy. Uncle Buck says the salt level on the fries really matter. Just saying, yeah. Another PR, Crystal, same deal. There are some places that were so bad, I get a substitute for the fries. I just refuse to eat just absolutely nasty fries. And then if they nasty and they cold, man, I'm spinning the block. I'm spinning the block. And I done had that happen a couple times, man. And I'm one of those guys, I don't really complain about a lot. I don't. If I pull up and y'all about to close in like 10 minutes, man, it is what it is. I'll settle for it. If I pull up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and pull off, these motherfuckers cold, I'm spinning the block. Now, I'm not going to spin the block and turn into a Karen and walk into the restaurant and I want goddamn hot fries. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to be like, hey, listen, man, I just came in here. These fries are like ice cold. They're a way that I can get some fresh fries. And usually they'll apologize, get a fresh batch in there. I've noticed, man, one thing I've never played about is food that I paid for. If something's wrong on the order, I'm always gonna be nice, because you don't know what folks will do if you just hostile and shit like that. Even with condiments. If you pull up to the drive-thru, hey, is there a way that I can get, a couple of honey mustards? If I got to pay extra, I don't have no problem. Oh, yeah, we got you. That works everywhere but Checkers. I don't care how nice you are at Checkers. If you ask for a couple of honey mustards, they'll give you one. So, and that's if they're being nice. Most times they're going to tell you the motherfuckers cost 50 cents a piece. And I'm like, damn, y'all be holding on these condiments, man. You go somewhere at Taco Bell, they ask you if you want sauce with it. Yeah, can I get a couple miles and hots? They fill the bottom of the bag. You got sauce for the next 2 years. Checkers don't play that shit, though. You get one. You get one. That's if they're nice. But there will never be a day I walk into a store so irate about my food. I'm throwing burgers back at them, flipping over the drink machine, going back there myself. Nah, that's too much. That's too much, man. Even if somebody gets probably the worst I've ever been at a restaurant. We were at what's the name of that? It's a chicken spot. I'm literally seeing it in my head. I didn't forgot the name of the chicken spot. But the drive-through took forever. When we actually, and it took forever, even though we were the only ones at the window. The woman was so rude at the window. I'm talking rude. She told me what the price was going to be. I hand her my card. She just takes the card, closes the window, nothing. She opens it back. She gives me the card, and then she just kind of there's like literally no conversation being had at all. And then she's like, "Can you pull up to the door?" Mind you, we had already been to the window forever. And I told her, I said, "Ma'am, respectfully, we've been sitting here for a minute. We're the only ones here. I'm not pulling up to the door." And this woman said, "You ain't getting your food then." Now, my first word that came into my mind was "bitch." That was the first thing that came across my mind. So I'm like, so I've already paid for this food. We're the only ones here. Why do I have to wait at the door? And she was like, "Well, that's just what it's going to be. Now, you can either go to the door and get your food, or you can't." And I'm like, "Ma'am, just refund me my money." I got, oh, I'm like the box. I can see the box and everything in my mind. I forgot what restaurant this is, but that restaurant till this day is still blacklisted. I will never go to that restaurant again. And they've probably like switched management and everything, but I don't give a fuck. Doing it with CJ says it's stupid when they say pull up for what? I don't know, man. Especially when you pull up and you see 3 cars get their orders and leave before you got yours. Yeah, man. That is. But again, I'm patient when it comes to Bojangles. That's the name of the restaurant. Fucking Bojangles. But listen. I kind of gave up fast food as of late, so the last thing that I had fast food related is I had to take my mom to Kennesaw, and we went to Whataburger. Listen, man, Chick-fil-A got some competition on their hands because Chick-fil-A was the leader in customer service. Their food is basic, but people go because the customer service is just wild. You ask for an extra anything at Chick-fil-A, they say yes, smile on their face. Is there a way I can get 7 honey mustards? Sure. Do you need anything else? No, I'm good. I just need 7. No problems. But bruh, that Whataburger, man, I had to actually turn around and like, is everybody in here trained to be this nice? Like, that was, and then their burgers are better than Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry. I got I think it was like a maple barbecue burger, bro. When I tell you I inhaled that shit. And then they got, where I stay in McDonough, off of Jodico Road, you the shit when you build a Whataburger right next to the Chick-fil-A. They in direct competition with Chick-fil-A. Usually, other spots try to stay out the way. They right next to them. Rodney says, "Have you ever had Man, I'm in Culver's almost every other day, man. I'm not picking up an order. But I will say this. Maybe y'all can help me out because I haven't really eaten at Culver's like that. What's the difference between they have like 3 different shakes. They got one that's a mixer, then they got one that this motherfucker's called concrete. Man, when I tell you I had to pick up an order and they ordered a concrete shake or whatever, man, listen. I didn't see anything in that cup move. I'm like, that's got to be some thick shit. You got to eat that with a spoon, bro. you got to eat that with a spoon because didn't nothing move. Didn't nothing move in there. I'm like, Jesus. But yeah, that's another place that's like crack on a Friday. Man, that drive-thru is wrapped around the building. Dre says, "Mark, you stay in McDonough. Man, I wish I stayed there. It's way better than Warner Robins, but that traffic, man, listen." I say this with all respect. Anybody that wants to move to McDonough, we're full right now. We're full. I've been here going on 12 years now. Bruh, the traffic, man, we might as well be in downtown Atlanta. That's how bad the traffic getting now. That's how bad it is. King Richie says cookout drive-through crazy. Man, I saw 2 fights at a cookout. They serious about that food out there, bro. 2 of them. I saw 2 fights break out. And usually when a fight breaks out in a restaurant, it has to be serious. I saw a fight at Juicy Crab. It started out in the, and I'm so numb to this shit now, but it started outside. So I'm getting out the car, and as I get out the car, I'm hearing people like, you know how you hear something, but you can't tell what direction it's coming from? So I'm walking to the door, and I see 2 chicks arguing. One chick works there, the other chick didn't. Man, when I tell you them chicks got the blows as I got to the door, they just start fighting. I'm so numb to it. I walk right past it. Go inside. I'm like, hey, I'm here to get an order for such and such. That shit came in the restaurant. And I'm like, I don't know what they fighting about, but this shit must be serious. It should have stayed outside. They brought it inside with them. And I know the chick that worked there, she probably knew she was out of a job immediately. So she was going broke with that chick. She was going for broke, bro. Let me see. Oh man, see, this is how conversation. We started talking about football. Now we're talking about restaurants. Monte Carlo says that barbecue chicken sandwich and Whataburger smack. Yeah, bro. That, man, I thought about that burger for the next couple of days. Next couple of days, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to double back. And another thing about Whataburger, they gonna give Chick-fil-A a run for their money, because Chick-fil-A done got so arrogant. They like, man, we take Sundays off. We so on top of the game, we take Sundays off. If you don't get your Chick-fil-A by 9:30 Saturday night, you're going to have to wait till Monday. Whataburger said, man, we open 24/7. I'll at your money. You want this maple bacon at 2:30? Come holla at us. We got you. We got you, baby. Chick-fil-A, man, they might do good for a couple years, but man, I see it about 3 years, especially the one on Jodico. They might have to start opening up on Sunday, because Whataburger has the same customer service and they food a bit better. That's all I'm saying. Art says Atlanta traffic up there with New York, Miami traffic, and LA traffic. Man, I've been in Georgia long enough to remember the only traffic you would run into is if you're going downtown. Everywhere else was pretty much free game. Now, if you anywhere at 7:30 in the morning, or anywhere 4:30 in the morning, or on a Friday, 7 or 8, you in traffic. I don't give a damn where you are. If you in McDonough, bro, you better learn these back roads. I rarely get on the highway. Rarely. Because I know, man, you might as well put an audio book on. Trey says, I got a noodle spot in Buford that's tough too. That's right beside a Whataburger. Gotta stop by one or both when I roll past it. Man, we all got them spots, man. Usually for me, it's either a Chinese spot or a wing spot. Like where you swear like, hey, listen, I ain't telling nobody where this spot is, because if I do, everybody gonna be over here. I know a Chinese spot, man. I had to back up off of it, man. I was in there 2 or 3 times a week. They knew me by name up in that motherfucker, man. You know, it gets to a point to where you're going somewhere so much when they just offer you a free drink. Last time I was in there, hey man, go ahead and grab your large. No, I'm straight. Because they know you're gonna be in there 2 or 3 times a week. Go and grab your large, man. On the house. And I'm like, man, I can't do larges like I used to back in the day, man. I used to, do a large with no problem. Now, man, if I drink a large, and larges aren't like they used to. Like larges are tubs now. Like they hand you a large cup. You can't even put this motherfucker in the cup holder in the car. So you driving with the damn drink in between your legs. That's their definition of a large. So usually when I turn it down, I'm like, man, I don't want to carry this thing between my legs. But 2, I'm going to drink this and have to go straight to a Quick Trip or something to take a piss. So I'm like, no, I usually turn it down. If I can't put it in my cup holder, man, it ain't meant for me to drink. They got another and another one that does that. I don't know if y'all have a Touchdown Wings near you. Well, their larges they're ridiculous. That is not a large. That is not a large. That's something else. Like I'm gonna be drinking on this for the next 2 days. This is a 2-liter right here. I'm gonna be drinking this motherfucker for the next 2 days. And they hand it to you like it ain't a big deal. That's a big deal, but that's a lot. And you at a legitimate wings. I don't trust a wing spot if they don't have peach drink, lemonade, and fruit punch. And that 3 gallon dispensary, I don't trust it. If I walk into a wing spot and I don't see peach drink, and that's what they call it, it's no other name. It's not like peach paradise or nothing. Peach passion is peach drink. That's it. And I'm like, that is if you're going to wing spots, that's the number 1 cause of diabetes right there. That peach drink. But if you don't have that, nah, I'm good. Dre says, don't say Touchdown Wings too loud. My wife might hear you. We got one right beside the Shell Seafood one. Yeah, listen. Touchdown Wings be crowded on Fridays and Saturdays too, bro. And I'm pretty sure there's a Touchdown Wings that has like black people, but for the most part, every time I go in there, it's like Asian and Chinese people. 15p, fry, large drink, I drink, large drink, and they be straight to the point. They ain't saying, "Hi, how's your day? How you been?" They about business. That be $29.95. Thank you. And they go right to the next person. They so business minded. I can't even be offended. But I had to let a lot of that stuff go, man. That peach drink will have you wanting to jog around the house. And I still don't think Touchdown Wings has the best wings in the business. There are a lot of spots, man, people don't know about. Boy, they wings just Jesus. Now JJ's Fish and Chicken, they good, but there's a place called Sharks. I might have said this in a previous live. To my knowledge, there's only 2 in Georgia. There's one in Macon, and then there's one by Southlake. Bruh, when I tell you, that is, to me, that's the best wing place in the game. You know you good. You know your wings are good when you don't need no flavors. You go to certain spots, man, and that's what I love about going to wing spots that are just out the way. We call them hood wing spots. Bro, they be having all kinds of flavors. Bourbon, barbecue, daiquiri wings, shit like that. Shit that ain't even supposed to go together. Lemon pepper, blue cheese, hot and spicy wings. That's all in one wing. like, like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Are those separate wings, separate flavors for the wings, or that all on one wing? It's all on one. The fuck? You almost feel compelled to want to try it. Like when you go to a hood store, and I still do this because your regular retailers, your Krogers, your Walmarts, they don't have the hood chips. I kid you not. You go to the hood, I don't know who these distributors are. They be having chips you ain't never heard of in wild ass flavors. Honey bun frosted flavor, frosted flakes flavor. Huh? they be having some off the wall flavors. You get in the car, you're like, man, you know what? I'm gonna have to try that, man, because I'm probably never gonna see that again in life. Ark says, JJ's Fish. Sharks is the same way. And I think that's where JJ's might have got that powder from. That powder is crack. That powder is straight. And they put it on the fries too. Then Sharks has the audacity to ask you, do you want it with the seasoning or not? You know what I came for. You know what I came for. Sauce me up. That's the other places be having, your typicals, your run of the mill, lemon pepper. Some I've seen they have honey mustard wings, which you got lemon pepper, barbecue, hot. You can get it extra wet, all that stuff, right? Teriyaki, the regulars. But boy, you fall into the wrong one, man. They be having some crazy flavors. King Richie said Mando. Man. We in here shooting the breeze now. Y'all need something from the store. I'm going to get some papers. Yeah, man, we shooting. There's some people that are still traumatized by the Kirk Cousins stuff. So we doing therapy right now. But yeah, man, like I stopped going to places like American Deli years ago, man. Because I think, American Deli, once they get what I call institutionalized, once these restaurants get where you can see them everywhere, I really don't. Because the product gets stepped on way too many times. That's like, this is it. This is it. The product been stepped on. I remember the first, this is it. It was a food truck. They had one on Memorial Drive, and then they had another one. He got another one. I think it was out in like Riverdale or something like that. But the same dude you be seeing on the logo, that was the same motherfucker that was in the food truck in Stone Mountain. Now, food don't hit the same now. Once they get, and they everywhere, I'm like, man, I'll come in here and try it. Product and stuff. No, it don't taste the same. Places like Chick-fil-A, those are establishments. It's gonna taste the same. No, we've never had a food truck Chick-fil-A where once upon a time motherfuckers talking about, hey man, listen, back in the day, boy, this Chick-fil-A used to be, man, this shit used to slap. Nobody has that story because we all remember Chick-fil-A tasting exactly like it does now. But certain places, bruh, you've been around long enough. You remember these motherfuckers just started out. That was pure, uncut product. Then they get 2 or 3. Shit started to get stepped on. There's a guy out here. Oh, God, I done forgot the restaurant's name. But he started out, this wasn't that long ago. He started out about back in 2020. Now this dude, and I hate that I can't think of the name of his restaurant. But he started out, he had a food truck. He was everywhere. He started out by the house I used to stay in. And then he moved like 2 months later. Then he was out there by the Sam's Club. Then he got his first brick and mortar, which has been doing good. His product ain't been stepped on yet. But I'm like, man, I want to see him successful. But once you start getting 2 or 3 up at the same time, I already know the product is going to take a step down. That food truck shit, boy, they ain't selling nothing but pure Coke in there. Nothing but pure Coke. Trey says Slutty Vegan started out as a food truck. I think, yeah. I just, man, listen. I had to get Slutty Vegan later on in life because I wasn't waiting 2 hours for no food. King Richie said once Golden Crust started franchising, it got yeah. I hate that because at the same time, I want to see these places be successful, but I know once you start getting multiple restaurants, they start cutting the product, even the portion sizes. About boy, time is flying. About 10 years ago, they opened up a Cheddar's in McDonough. This is back when McDonough was still worth staying at. Didn't have too much traffic, none of that stuff. When they first opened that Cheddar's up, the portion sizes were crazy. I'm talking about it was crazy to the point to where it came to your table, you immediately knew you had leftovers. And I'm a big dude. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking some of this to the house. I already know. Then as years passed, I would order the same thing. That plate would get smaller and smaller and smaller, and the price was going up. Wings are the same way too. Bro, I remember I would be able to get a 20-piece combo meal. 20-piece, fries, drink. Run you about 15 bucks. Now a 20-piece running you about $22, $23. Combo. And I'm one of those, I gotta have 20. I'll devour 10 wings. 10 wings is almost disrespectful to me. But last time I was in there, like, God damn, the prices can jump. You want combo? Man, you know what? Keep that drink. Keep that drink. Keep that drink, man. I'm good. But yeah, some of these prices then jumped up, man. Even at the sit-down places. One place I refuse to go, especially on the weekends, is Juicy Crab. People that go to Juicy Crab on Fridays and Saturdays, they go for the food. You definitely don't go for the conversation. Because nigga, you can't hear yourself. You can't hear yourself. Man, they had a DJ on, music playing louder than a motherfucker. I'm like, who can hear who in here? You at the to-go spot, they yelling at you at the to-go. What can I get for you? So people don't go on first dates at Juicy Crab. They've been together for a while. Matter of fact, they go because they don't want to talk. They don't want to talk to each other. So you want to get something to eat? Yeah, where you talking about going? Let's go to Juicy Crab. They can eat in peace, but you still got this loud ass music. And a lot of restaurants are getting like that now. Fridays and Saturdays, they got a DJ playing. I was at a Mexican spot. They had a dude in there playing sax. And I'm like, when you think about it, that don't mix. A black guy playing sax at a Mexican restaurant. Oh, and he was going in too. He's like, man, I got to make up for the 70s, man, when they cut me from the band. That motherfucker was getting off. However much money they paid him, he earned every dime of it. But Fridays, you can't hear yourself. Monte Carlo says Cheddar's used to have the best Philly for $7, bell peppers and portobello mushrooms. Man, yeah. And they took a lot of these off the menu. But when I would go to places, I would look to see if they had a bourbon chicken, because that was my go-to. Uh, Cheddar's used to have one. I don't know if they still have it. I know Applebee's used to have one, then they took it off. Every time I went to Applebee's, I already knew what I was getting. But they be taking the best shit off the menu. Jill Rodney says probably the dude they have playing at every big time Falcons game. Nah, he was an older cat. He looked like he looked like he could have been a sax player in Motown. Older cat. But it's like now, man, the days of just going out to eat and having a relaxed environment, oh man, that's out the window now. You might still be able to do it at places like Red Lobster, Olive Garden. But if you're talking about going to one of these up and coming spots or spots that you didn't heard about, man, one, that wait time gonna be absolutely ridiculous. When you walk in there, you ain't gonna be able to hear yourself. And especially, it gets lit if they have that grass wall. If you walk into a restaurant, they got a grass wall, you already know what time it is. Dre says Applebee's better never take that honey pepper tender and mac away or I'm gone. Hey, there's a goddamn it, O'Charlie's. So me and my father used to go to O'Charlie's all the time, at least once a week. That was our spot, right? And if you remember O'Charlie's, their bread, boy, they would give you bread by the by the boatloads, and it would have that butter, that soft butter. Ooh. It had that soft butter, so you'd have a whole basket of bread, and in the basket it'd be like 7 to 8 pieces of bread there, right? We knew they were going under when they started rationing off the bread. So one of the last times we went there, and she was like, do you guys want some bread? We're like, yeah, bring that shit here. This woman brought the basket. It had 2 pieces of bread. And I'm like, that's it? Yeah. And I'm like, damn, y'all rationing off bread now? And then, and I kid you not, less than 2 months later, they had closed. They got I forget what restaurant they got over there now. They put up a completely different restaurant. But that one closed, and then the one in Stockbridge shut down. Yeah, that's what it's called. They put a Raising Cane's over there. Boy, and when I tell you that, they've been packed since they opened. But man, McDonough trying to become they coming up. They got it. I mean, they build it everywhere. Ain't a tree safe in McDonough right now. There's not a single tree safe. If there were like a neighborhood of trees, man, one of them woke up one day. Where's Albert at? Albert cut to the stub. We were just talking about how beautiful it was outside yesterday. Man, Albert's about to be put in a new apartment complex. Ain't a tree safe, bro. And I'm telling you, like some places where McDonough looks completely different than it did when I moved here. And I mean, that's just the fact that it's just growing at a massive pace. It says, what about, I like Cookout. I haven't had Cookout as much as I should have, but the times I've been there, they got a Cookout in McDonough, and it's almost invisible. I kid you not, dude. It's right next to a Freddy's, and there's a Panda Express over there. There's a Freddy's over there, and then there's Cookout. Dude, I kid you not. If you're not looking, you drive right past Cookout. It's virtually invisible, and it's right there in plain sight. Ark said, "Wow, imagine how I feel about McDonough. I came here 20. Whoo, well, that was a different life right there. That was a different life." Trey says, "Speaking of Stockbridge and McDonough, we forgot about Freddie's because yeah, Freddie stays packed. On the weekends, you go there during the week, you pretty much can walk in and walk out. But everything over here on the weekends, bro, forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. You know, and they've turned McDonough. I see why people are moving here because it gives you that city feel without being in the city. And you still have country out here. You know, you go downtown, ain't no country in downtown. Downtown is what it is. It's a city. But McDonough, you drive about 5 minutes out the way, you likely to see cows. You make a left, a right, and then another left, you in the country. You'd be like, how the hell did I get here? So yeah, McDonough still has a lot of those areas, but for the most part, like right off the exits, man, it's popping. And it's popping for like, oh, I'd say about 3 exits. Eagles Landing ain't really popping like that, but you know, that's Eagles Landing has a lot of old money off that exit. So you got the Walmart over there, the McDonald's, you got a couple places to eat, but if you get off the exit and make a left, or you got a Publix, and that's pretty much it. Dre says, oh, that's all they advertise. I'm a truck driver. It's alive and McDonough sign everywhere you can possibly enter GA. Yeah. And I'll say, you know, the more people that move, the more apartment complexes they're building here, and then the rent is just almost had me like the Pillsbury Doughboy, bro. And I think rent is getting like that everywhere. But boy, they build a new apartment complex like every 4 or 5 months here. And then they'll tell you, man, a one bedroom, 765 square feet. Hey, nigga, that's gonna run you about 1,700. Huh? It's gonna run you about 1,700. And you feel like, what? Yeah. And they say that to you with a straight face. And that's base rent. That's base rent. They ain't even included the concierge trash. They haven't even included, you know, the park. They ain't mentioned none of that stuff. So by the time they get to all that, that's running you about 21. And like one of my friends is like, how are people affording the rent in McDonough? I said, it's easy. They all selling drugs. But yeah, it's to a point, man, to where, and again, I will say it's not just McDonough. Rent has gotten crazy in Georgia, period. And people used to move down to Georgia because the cost of living wasn't so high. Now we starting to match, you know, other states. But I told my friend that, and they're like, "You bullshit. Rent ain't that high." I'm like, bro, they have studio apartments that start out at $1,300. Matter of fact, let me show you. Let me show y'all real quick, and then I'm gonna hop up off it. I'm gonna show y'all real quick how crazy this has got, right? Yeah, hold on. But again, this is everywhere, so it's not just unique to McDonough. Pull this up real quick. So this is one example right here. That's one example. Bro, it's a studio. It ain't it ain't even a one bedroom. It's a studio. Now studios back in the day, that's like the jump off. You got your studios, then you got your one bedrooms, then you got your, you know, two bedrooms, one and a half bath, then you start getting up to the three bedrooms and so on and so on. Bro, this is a studio. It's 622 square feet. The bottom is 1365. The top is almost 2 grand for a studio. A studio, bro. The only thing you can really do of purpose in a studio is eat, sleep, and fuck. That's it. If you're trying to do something extra in a studio, good luck. 622 square feet, nah. That's a starter. 1300 a studio. And you got people paying because a lot of people want to move to McDonough. Now you got your one bedroom, 1400. But if we start, boy, if you got a family, let's say you got a family of 4. Bro, that's what at this apartment. This is just one apartment. There are affordable apartments in McDonough, I promise you. But if it's new, that's what it's gonna run you. You got a family of 4 and everybody needs a room, 2 grand, bro. And you got people footing it because McDonough is a hot area right now. Very hot area. You know, so you got a lot of people that want to move here. And again, it's a good city. I love McDonough, man. I absolutely love McDonough. And I'm probably not gonna move. You know, but if you're talking about moving to McDonough, we're crowded right now. But wait for some of these people to move out. Because even where I'm at, I decided to move out to the sticks. Bro, they building over here. I'm like, how y'all find us out here? we out here minding our business, living peaceful. Somebody came out here and said, you know what? That's a lot of land. Let's slap a subdivision on that bitch. Like, fuck, man. There ain't a place in McDonough you about to get peace. None. I would say if you live off of Eagles Landing, which is right there, like it's a hairline fracture away from being Stockbridge. It's McDonough. It's like the start of McDonough, but man, I kid you not. It probably takes you all up 2 or 3 minutes to be right at Stockbridge. Trey says you can't even get it popping with a little home jump rope in the wind. Ahmad says, man, Atlanta has turned into scam capital. It wasn't that bad when I lived there. Yeah, like I tell people, man, there are a lot of people that live in Atlanta that aren't from Atlanta. So there's a definite difference with that. There are a lot of people that move to Georgia that aren't from Georgia. So unfortunately, people bring bad. There was some scammers before all this. Don't get it twisted. But a lot of this bad driving, that shit got imported here. That got imported here. You know, some people come from other states that were smaller, or other cities that were smaller, and get down here and can't drive a lick, and be causing all kind of accidents. If you are driving in Atlanta or Georgia, period, you need to be an aggressive driver. What I mean by that is if you got it, take it. If you're gonna turn. Don't half-ass it. That's what causes accidents. I've been in Georgia damn near my whole life. knock wood, I've been in 3 car accidents. Minor. Weren't crazy. They were minor. I didn't have an injury on me or nothing. That's because I drive aggressive. You got people that literally do not know how to drive in Georgia. That's imported here. Because if you've been here long enough, you know how to drive in Georgia. You know you got to take that. Some people be driving slow. Man, let me tell you what I don't know if it's me, but you have people that'll see a yellow. They know they can drive past. They know they can drive through the yellow, and they'll stop. And that prevents me from running the light. Because I'm like, I know if they make it, I'm gonna make it. They'll slow down at that light, and then there are some lights in Georgia. It takes forever to go green. It takes forever. What's going on, Big Low? Man, we just chopping up right now. We got the Kirk Cousins stuff out the way about an hour ago. But yeah, there, especially in McDonough, there's this one light. Bro, if it's yellow about to turn red, I'm willing to take the ticket. I ain't about to sit there for 5 minutes, bro. And then you got some lights that when they go green for like 10 seconds. So you got to get it in. And then you got people, if you're turning left and that green comes for the left, their car takes forever to turn. I'm an aggressive dude. Let me tell you how aggressive I am driving. When that thing hits green, I'm already halfway through the light. I do not fuck around when I drive. So I can tell by just how somebody drives, how long they've been in Georgia. Now, older folks, I definitely give a pass to. And I always feel bad when I'm like, motherfucker, drive. And then when I drive past them, you see this old person with like 2 hands on the wheel. And I'm like, man, you got to chill out. Because I don't know a single person. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a single solitary person that lives in Georgia and has not road raged 5 times this week, unless you work from home. It's just so common now. Like, I've had conversations, and sometimes it'll be me, sometimes it'll be the other person. I'll be having a conversation in the car, and they'd be like, yeah, man, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that later on today, man. I got so move the fuck out the way, goddammit. And you already know what they're talking about. If they in the car, you already know what they're talking about. So hey, we're so numb to it. We understand it. It ain't a situation where it's like, damn, what was all that about? If they're in the car and they rant like that, and then they come right back to the conversation. They be like, man, this motherfucker out here trying to kill everybody. Well, yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and work on that when I get to the house, man. Like, it's just we're numb to it now. We're numb to it. And it's to a point now, say if you're talking to a chick and you're in the car and she might be talking, yeah, I probably want to come over there this weekend if you ain't doing nothing. I'm off this weekend, and I just want to move, bitch, get out the fucking way, goddamn hoe. And she don't take offense to that. If you in the car, she don't take offense to that. She might be like, what the fuck? But that's it. If you do that at the house, that's your ass. But you can get away with saying a lot of stuff in the car while you on the phone. Now, I wouldn't take it to the extreme. Like, if she was saying all that, and you like, bitch, I don't even want to be with your motherfucking ass no more. Nigga, what? I'm talking about this goddamn car that's behind me. Damn, this car, man, they driving slower than the motherfucker in here. I wouldn't advise that. But you can get away with a lot of stuff in traffic when you're on the phone. Big Lo says, man, I ain't gonna lie, I drive very conservative. I can't do it, man. I can't. I'm an aggressive driver. I gotta have if it's a yellow, I'm going because I feel like I can always make that yellow. Um, and no lie, 2 nights ago, this is one thing I never ever do. I don't know why I did. I ran a red light. I don't know where my mind was, but that light was clearly red, and I drove straight through it. And when I did, I'm like, God damn, I ran a red light. I never do that. I'm gonna run a yellow, but a red. If that thing hits red and I'm almost there, I'm gonna stop. Trey says, "Yeah, big country, you an insurance adjuster. You can't be out there getting it." Man, explain this to me, because I really want to know about this. Why is insurance so damn high, bruh? Like, maybe it's just me getting older and turning into my parents. You know, your parents, man, I went to the movies, man. I could take a girl to the movies, man. It cost me $3. That was for the admission, the popcorn and the drink. That was $3. Yeah, the admission is $17 a ticket now. So I kind of feel like when I got my driver's license and I got my first car, my insurance was $60. That was full coverage. People were still getting liability back then. Liability was even cheaper. Full coverage, $60 off the lot. Now, if you get a car from a dealer, you're required to have full. Man, I've seen people pay upwards of $350 for car insurance. Some people pay more in car insurance than they are the damn car note. And I'm like, we're getting to a point now to where people just jacking up prices because they want to. My gas bill. My gas bill now is more than my power bill. That should never happen. But they've added something called a bypass. So I'm like, y'all basically put a tax on gas? Bruh, I'm looking at my bill every day. The bypass by itself is $70. So in order to get gas, you have to pay this. It's a monopoly. In order to get gas, you have to pay for this bypass. I'm like, man, that's wild. Big Low says, man, all y'all got to do is look at the cost of all the expensive vehicles out there, then look at all these lawyers running all these injury settlement commercials. It all made the insurance go up. Man, let me tell you, I feel like there should be a law. If you've never gotten into an accident, or like if you haven't been in an accident for 5 years, you should be able to get a discount no matter who you go to. But you go through all of them, whether it be Progressive, which is who I'm with, State Farm, they all running the same rate. And I'm like, man, my driving record has been pretty much, even the accidents I got into, it was the other person's fault. Well, it's just, that's just what it is. You're just gonna, it's like that with everybody. Fuck this, man. I ain't everybody though. Now I can understand if a motherfucker's a daredevil behind the wheel, and I get that. Yeah, they should be priced out of getting insurance so they can't drive. But I'm telling you, it's getting to a point. It's getting to a point to where people gonna start riding dirty again. Dre says the damn Top Dog Law and Mike Hostelo rap videos. Man, if you've been around a long time, Ken Nugent. I remember when Ken Nugent used another guy's tagline. or he's calling himself the strong arm. And then there was another dude, I don't know his name, but he look every time I see him in a commercial, this motherfucker looks like a vampire. He could have been a vampire. I forget this guy's name, but that was his slogan. He's the strong arm. And once I saw Ken Nugent doing it, I'm like, boy, there's gonna be a problem here. And then Ken Nugent stopped using it, and I'm like, okay. But that other guy, he looks like a vampire as a lawyer. But Ken Nugent been around, so I was a teenager when Ken Nugent started. One call, that's all. Everybody knew that. You know, just like the furniture, you know, the Wolfman. As for Donna, Ken Richards said Montlick and Associate, man. Look, you'd have them lawyers on there meaning those actors portraying lawyers, they be meaning business. If you've been in an accident, call Montlick and Associates right now. Like right now. Like I can't make a sandwich real quick. No, you can't. Right the fuck now. Okay, I ain't even been in an accident and I feel compelled to call y'all. Big Low says, so one thing that our actuaries claim is that if you haven't had an accident in the last 5 years, you are a greater risk to get, wow, really? To get in an accident based on the law of large numbers. Yeah, man, I might walk to the store today then. Because the last accident I was in, now I will give this woman credit. I'll give her ultimate credit. She hit me. And it was one of those situations. I was in the left turning lane. And in McDonough, especially off of Jodico, where it's one, you know, it's kind of a one way. She was trying to make a left, and she ran right into my car. Even though I had my hand on the horn, she still ran into my car. So we pull over to the CVS, and she was like, I didn't see you. I didn't see you. So one of the guys in the parking lot, because I was about to call the cops, he was like, I already called. So sometimes people's stories change from the time you got hit to the time the cops show up. When they get out the car, oh man, it was my fault. You know, it was my fault. So I'm figuring they gonna come up with something else. Nah, the cop got there. She was like, it was completely my fault. I didn't see him. You know, I thought the horn was somebody else. That was the easiest situation I had getting in an accident. Actually, no, I'm lying, because I did get in I don't even know if it wasn't an accident. He hit my car. But there was no damage to my car. And there was minor damage to his car. And he knew he was at fault. So he was like, man, I just can't afford to get another ticket, man. I can't do it. Now, if I was a dirtbag, I'd have called the cops, and I would have been at somebody's ER that night trying to get papered up. If I was that way. And in certain situations, that might be the requirement, because sometimes you don't feel an injury until days later, right? But I looked at the back of my car, there was zero damage. I don't even know how this happened. There was no damage to my car. And his bumper had like a dent. You can see like some paint come off or whatever. So I just said, I'm like, hey man, listen, no harm, no foul, gentleman's accident. It is what it is. And I could just see the relief on his face. Now I did get his number, because I'm like, if my car starts to choke later on, we're going to come revisit this motherfucker. But again, no damage, no foul. Big Low says, yeah, always call the police. Take pictures of both vehicles and try to get a video of the accident scene. Yeah, I agree with that. That last time, though, I didn't see anything. Like there was virtually nothing on my car. So we're sitting there talking, and I'm like, how is there no because he hit. Um, and it wasn't like hard, but it was hard enough to know. I mean, two cars hit each other, you're gonna feel it. So when I pulled over, I'm like, yeah, man. And I just bought the car too. I'm like, God, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Get out the car. I'm trying to find damage. I can't find nothing. So, but yeah, in most cases, mostly every case, yeah, you call the police, and you do everything that Big Low saying, because people do lie. You know, people tell one story, the cops get there, hey man, this is what happened, man. I don't know why they hit me. And you're like, the fuck? Yeah, I don't know why he hit me, man. I was in the right of way. You know, look at the car. Look at the car, man. I caught more of the damage than he did, man. Now, man, listen, I ain't caused the accident. Now you got to go through insurance. Now you got to go to court. Yeah, it's just a whole mess, man. Especially if they give the ticket to the wrong person. I had a situation, man, that took 2 years of my life getting over. I had to go to court. I had to go through a deposition. All that just because this crazy woman hit me, and they gave the wrong person the ticket, which was me. So I do believe cops do have bias. I firmly believe that. So she hit me so hard, she jumped the curb and almost ran into a CVS. Her car, I kid you not, her car literally stopped feet from the front door. I was still on the street. When the cops show up, they go talk to her first. She was, I don't know how old this woman is, man. She might have been, in her late 50s. So they go talk to her first, and then they come talk to me. I'm telling them exactly what happened. I'm pulling into the CVS, and then my car gets knocked right back into the street. And I can see from the corner of my eye, her car jumped the curb. Because there's a CVS off of Keys Ferry. I can't really describe it, but there is a slant. So her car was airborne. She jumped the curb. Her car landed in the parking lot, and then it just slowly rolled to the front door. So the cop comes back to me and says, well, we're going to give you a ticket because, honestly, the way that you're describing, how it happened, there's just no way it could have happened. Man, I went off on this cop. I went smooth the fuck off on this cop. I'm like, bruh, you see where her fucking car is, and you see where my car is. You're trying to tell me it's my fault? Man, I had the lawyer up. It took me 8 months to do it for him. And the whole time, I'm doubting my lawyer because I used to work at Kroger, and Kroger is unionized. So I could get a lawyer for free, which, was the right thing to do because I was paying union dues for 10 years before. I digress. So I'm questioning my lawyer because my lawyer wanted to take it to court. He was like, this is a winnable case. So we get to court, and one thing about McDonough is that courthouse is called a kangaroo court for a reason. I don't care how good of a case you got. They're going to try and make you pay something. So I'm sitting there for an hour, and I'm seeing good cases. People that had legitimate cases, they ended up paying half. So I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. So right before we're to go up, my lawyer calls me in the hallway, and he's like, listen, prosecution came back, and they proposed a deal. Now, as a lawyer, I'm supposed to tell you, inform you of it. So it was basically me paying $500, admitting the guilt, but no points off of my license, right? That further enraged me because I'm like, one, it wasn't my fault. Two, I'm not paying the courts anything. Three, it's taken 8 months for me to get here. If it's guilty, I'll just take it. Man, when I tell you this guy turned into Johnny Cochran. I mean, he was so good. When I was walking out, there were people stopping me, asking me what my lawyer's name was. That man, the cop that The cop that said it was impossible for it to happen based off of what I told him, by the time my lawyer got finished with him, he was like, it could be possible. Then the woman who actually caused the accident, boy, when I tell you, she got on the stand and just absolutely imploded. So I was able to walk out there with, a not guilty plea and everything. That wasn't the end of this though. I ended up changing insurance carriers because my insurance jumped $150 after that, which was crazy. And then the insurance agent had the audacity to say, well, you're not going to find insurance cheaper anywhere else. I think I was at Geico. I was with Geico at the time. I'm like, you shitting me? Got on with State Farm that same day. The reason why I say this isn't over with is because a couple of months later, somebody reached out from Geico. They had reached a settlement with this woman where they actually no. What happened was Geico reached out to me because she was trying to get money from my insurance company. They had reached out to me because they told me that they were just going to settle. They were going to settle with her. Now this came with them paying $25,000 to this broad. Mind you, she created the accident. And the only reason I did not fight that was because my ex at the time, we were both on the same policy. And she was just like, you know what? I'm not going through with it, because what the agent was telling us is if part of the settlement would mean that she was excluded from suing me. So she couldn't take me to court personally, right? That was part of it. And that's the reason why I just said, okay, do whatever. You would think it was over. No. A year later, I get a packet in the goddamn mailbox from her lawyer. This broad trying to sue somebody for $80,000. So when I first saw this, again, I'm like, oh no, you got me fucked up. So I'm not a lawyer, so I had to get information and knowledge of what I was actually reading. So what I was reading was she was actually trying to get more money from her insurance company. Hold on, let me put this up for Big Low. Big Low says, I just want to let everybody in here know, if you want to keep your insurance rates low, shop around every year. They have a database that sees how often you change companies. And oh wow, yeah. Well, I need to do that today. The more you shop around, the lower your rates will be. I'm doing that today then, because Progressive is getting a little aggressive with these rates. So we contact Geico. They're telling us that she's trying to get more money from her insurance company. And I don't know what lawyer she got, but she was in the paperwork. It was talking about how it was difficult for her to put a shirt on because of Mr. Washington's negligence. Mind you, she caused the accident, right? I was found not guilty in court. So she couldn't do a lot of stuff. She couldn't comb her hair. Her quality of life is, dwindled tremendously because of Marcus Washington's inability to function as a rational driver. I kid you not. Right? So they're telling me that nothing's going to happen to me. She's not suing me. But they would have to depose me. Now, this was back in 2020 where we couldn't walk into courtrooms, right? So I had to do it, via Zoom. So I'm on a Zoom with like 5 different lawyers, right? And they're asking me, what happened, blah, blah, blah. But what I found fascinating is when I told them that we went to court and she lost, I was actually found not guilty. I guess the main guy representing her, he looked shocked, like he had never heard this before, because he wanted me to go into detail about what happened in court. So after the deposition, I know this is running long, but I'm gonna get finished. So after I got deposed, she got deposed the very next day. The lawyer from Geico that was representing my case, she called me and told me she bombed at the deposition. She started cursing. She started just getting irate and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's what liars do. So long story short, she didn't get that 80 grand that she asked for. I'm still a little upset that Geico paid her out that 25 grand because I wanted to fight that. The lawyer that I had for the deposition, when she found this out, she was like, why didn't you fight that? You would have won that. And I'm like, well, between the agent telling me that she can take me to, court personally and sue me for 6 figures, and my ex telling me that she don't want no parts of this, I can't. So I say all that to say insurance is a very tricky situation, and the prices are goddamn high. But I just don't like the fact that she caused the accident and she was able to get another car and 25 grand. And then she got greedy. She was like, well, shit, if I can get 25, let me see if I can get 80. And she flatlined in court. Big Low says, oh, they most likely sent her to collections. I don't know what that's about, Big Low. I have no idea. It could be possible. But all I know is I said the same thing in court I said in the deposition. Apparently she didn't inform her lawyers of everything that happened. Or got the money back from her insurance company. It could have been all those things. I know they were asking for 80,000. But she got greedy. When she got paid 25K from my former insurance company, I'm like, she caused the accident. I should be getting a check. I should be broke up, man. I got absolutely nothing. The only thing that I got out of that is they fixed the car, which I thought was going to be total, but they were able to fix the car, so that was at minimal cost to me. That was it. They got her a whole fucking car and 25K off the muscle. So, and then she, after we left court and we're in the hallway, man, the look that this woman gave me, and I'm like, man, I've seen evil before, but you caused this accident. You caused it. And you're looking at me like I did this. I was trying to I had the right of way. She hit me from the back. Pause. She hit the car from the back, right? So the way that the street, matter of fact, I'll do you one better. Boy, we done got so far from Kirk Cousins, and that's probably a good thing. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh, it's off Zach Hinton, but there, Keys Ferry is right there. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh, let me see if I can pull this up. Man, come on, give me the street view. Okay, maybe I can pull. Uh-oh, here we go. Let me see if I can twist this a little bit. Okay, bingo. Let me show y'all this real quick. Because when the cop told me it was impossible for this to happen, man, when I tell you my lawyer chewed his ass up. All right, let me get out of here real quick. Trey says, yeah, we parlaying now. Yeah, we parlaying now. We just talking. All right. Stop this. And share this screen. All right, boom. So this is the CVS where all this shit went down, right? You can't really see it, but there is a slant right here. So I'm right here. I'm about to turn into the CVS, right? Because as you can see, I can't really go back. As you can see, the turning lane is right here. I'm right here about to make the turn. She hits me while I'm making the turn. So she was behind me because she hit the left side of my car. So she hit me. It pushed me back into the what actually pushed me into the lane. I came to the emergency lane. She plateaued. She jumped the curb right here and ended up her car stopped right in front of this CVS. The cop said that my story was impossible. There's an emergency lane right here, right? So when I was turning in, I guess she was behind me and she noticed that she was going to hit me from behind. So instead of doing that, she wrapped her car into the emergency lane, hit my car, and then the impact caused her to jump the curb and end up right here. My car, when it was all said and done, my car was parked right there. That's why I went off on the cop. Because I'm like, if I caused the accident, how could I even cause the accident? My car is on the street. Her car way over here. Her car was way over there. And mind you, the damage to my car was on the left side. The damage to hers was on the right side. But I was in front of her. So that meant that she was behind me. She jumped right here, hit my car, and ended up all the way here. When the judge basically saw the totality of the case, what I didn't like is he basically just discarded what the cop said altogether. The cop was clearly lying, but he just discarded that. What he told the woman was, there's one thing for sure that happened in this incident. You were speeding, because I can't get over the fact that your car is all the way here and his car is still on the street. And she got on the stand and said she wasn't speeding at all, but she couldn't tell anybody what the speed limit was. So he was like, I don't know what you were doing. I don't know if you were on your phone. I have no idea. But there's no way that I can find Mr. Washington guilty when I'm seeing your car here and his car here. So, and I wish, because my lawyer told me that he saw the dash cam footage, and he was like, I tried to get this put into court. I straight went off on that cop. But he was like, by what she was saying, you can tell she wasn't telling the truth on the scene. And I'm like, dude, that's what I've been trying to tell you this whole entire time. Now, to my lawyer's credit, he believed me the whole way. But the fact that the cop gave me the ticket, it was solely due to the fact that she was an older woman. So he was going to believe whatever she said. Here I am, a young, stout black guy, somehow it's your fault. And he never explained how it was my fault. He just said that it was impossible for this to happen the way that I said it happened. Now, mind you, the damage is on the left side of my car. I'm pulling in. I got the right of way no matter what. Now, you can't drive in the emergency lane unless you have an emergency, right? Which in that case, if you were driving in this emergency lane and hit me while I was turning, you're still at fault. So this was pretty much an ironclad case by the time it got to court. But I'm telling you, these lawyers try to take a win no matter what. Because she was like, listen, if I can get this motherfucker to cop the $500, no points, and he has to admit guilt, that's a win. I'm not, baby, you got to earn this. Now, what they did do, last time they did change something over here, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if she would have died, I hate to be as cold-blooded as this, It'd have been her fault. She hit me so hard. One, I felt the impact. My car completely moved back into the street. But she literally, the inside of the my left wheel was inverted, so it almost looked like it was going into the engine. That's how hard she hit me. But my insurance after that, shish, 150. And they had all the information from the courtroom. So when this happened, Geico ruled it as a no fault. So they didn't put the fault on anybody. Which to me is still wild because this was her fucking fault. But yeah, so I shout out to my lawyer, man. Shout out to my lawyer. He did a bang up job. Absolute bang up job. But I felt like I could have did this and won. But I wasn't taking that gamble. So with that being said and done, everybody take Big Lo's advice on this. He's more experienced and his expertise is in that. So if you get hit, call the goddamn cops. That's the best way to go. I'd take it a step further. You call the cops and go to the hospital. My sister, there's a funny story about my sister. So my sister got hit by a truck, like one of those those moving company trucks, right? And airbag deployed and everything, the works. So when we found this out, I immediately, because I was working right off the exit, she got into the accident. So I took off work, got over there. My father got over there. Now my sister's still in the car, and the cops got her her information, and then they were over there talking to the truck driver. Truck driver already took the L because there were people on the scene that saw the whole thing, so he was gonna lose anyway. So I'm telling my sister, I'm like, yeah, they got you taken care of, and my sister was like, I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth. So me and my father looking like, you already gonna win. She was like, I'm gonna pee on myself. Man, when I tell you, my sister sat right there and pissed on herself. Me and my father sitting there trying not to laugh, and we were complicit with this because we kind of positioned ourselves to where nobody can see this. My sister straight pissed on herself out. So when the cops came back, I had to turn away because I was trying not to laugh. She was like, I don't know what's going on. I just used the bathroom on myself. I'm just so traumatized. And I'm like, oh, she about to get a bag. My sister about to get a bag. So she ended up going to the hospital or whatever. My sister came out. I think she won like $90,000. But I'm like, peeing on yourself, that wasn't necessary. But me, my sister she was going for the gusto. Airbag deployed. She already got the upper. She's got the leverage. So why not? Let me just go ahead and pee on myself just to make this a lot more dramatic. So we already knew we had to stop by the house and get a change of clothes. I didn't think she was going to do it until she started doing it. But, hey, it is what it is. I wouldn't have peed on myself, especially if I know I'm already winning. Dre says, you hit someone in the rear, it's really their fault anyway, unless they pull up footage showing you stomp the brakes to purposely inflict physical contact. Yeah, that's why they tell you to stay two car lengths behind. So even if they do that, you still have time to stop. But in Georgia, you see this all the time, man. You see cars riding other cars. Like, even if they hit the brake, they're gonna run into it. So my thing is, I'd add on to what Big Lo said. If you can, put a camera in your car. They're cheap now. Back when those were first coming out, they were expensive. You can get one for $25. So if you do get into an accident, they even have some that if they sense impact, they'll record the whole entire thing. Raymond says she's a professional. Oh yeah, my sister was getting that bag. She was getting that bag, but she had to put extras on it, and it worked because the cop went over there. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna get you to the hospital, baby. It worked. Trust me. Me and my father just sitting there, just trying our hardest not to show that we're laughing. But yeah, my younger sister actually. But yeah, get you a car, a camera for the car, because like Big Lo said, people lie. People will lie. If you got a camera, that camera don't lie. So what I would do is, in the event you do get into an accident, don't even tell the other party you got a camera. Let them lie to you. Let them lie to the cops. When the cops ask you what happened, just pull up the video. Oh, they getting a ticket immediately. But you definitely need one of those, because people do lie. Because these companies don't take lightly to paying off people. But with that being said and done, fam, your boy's gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. Listen, to people that make it this far later on, yeah, we got sidetracked there, but good sidetrack. We ain't letting Kirk Cousins go for nothing less than a. We have the leverage, like Morgan Freeman said on 7. John Doe has the upper hand. And with that being said and done, fam, I'm up out of here.